ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
A judge is denying a request from local businesses to let them reopen indoors. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Under the purple tier, restaurants and gyms are only allowed to operate outside. Our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony PURA is live with a reaction from that ruling. Anthony.
Well, Cowboy Star Restaurant and Butcher Shop is just one of the businesses involved in that lawsuit. They released a statement earlier this evening saying that they were heartbroken in the ruling and that they won't be able to reopen their indoor operations. Now, aside from Cowboy Star Restaurant and Butcher Shop, the other businesses involved in the suit are Home and Away Encinitas, Fit Athletic Club, and Bear Republic CrossFit. They started the legal fight on behalf of all restaurants and gyms that were ordered to close indoor operations while the county is in the purple tier of COVID-19 related restrictions. On Friday, the lawyer representing the four businesses argued that these industries are not the cause for the big spike in COVID-19 cases. But today, the judge denied the injunction, saying essentially even though there were negative impacts for businesses, public health concerns outweighed those harms. A lot of businesses were watching this ruling as it would have widespread effects for their operations. I spoke to someone who owns two restaurants. He says he was deeply disappointed in the ruling.
It was obviously hoping that it was going to go the other way to help all of us. The judge had four businesses, and he was going against big California and going against the governor for, in a sense, four businesses. And I think at the end of the day, he decided that it probably, I mean, as a matter of law, it also wasn't worth going after the governor at this point.
Now, we reached out to the lawsuit that the law firm that filed that lawsuit. They have declined to comment tonight on this ruling. We're reporting live tonight. Anthony PURA, ABC 10 News.
And the struggle continues for those businesses. Anthony, thank you. The county may offer financial help to businesses impacted by the purple tier risk closures. Supervisors Greg Cox and Nathan Fletcher are proposing the county provide $20 million in relief to those restaurants, the gyms, and other businesses that do operate indoors. A full board will consider the proposal on Wednesday. If passed, the county will then start accepting applications for those funds.
And our daily COVID cases are back above 1,000. The county reported 1,167 new cases today, bringing our total to 72,000. There were no new deaths, which is typical for a Monday, so that total remains 968. As you saw on World News Tonight, ASTRAZENECA announced today its vaccine is up to 90% effective in preventing COVID-19. Our John Horn spoke to a UCSD doctor taking part in the trial who hopes that she got the real thing.
And our hospital is starting to fill up again.
UC San Diego physician Ilana Gadabu is seeing the increase in coronavirus cases firsthand.
My office staff has been tremendously affected. They've gotten sick. They've lost family members.
Gadabu is a urologist at a UCSD-affiliated medical center in El Centro, where cases are rising locally and via patients from Mexico. The state recently set up this 50-bed temporary facility in its parking lot to care for non-COVID patients.
You don't want to get this. And so if you have an opportunity to get the vaccine when it does come out, please do.
That's why Gadabu, through El Centro Regional Medical Center, is participating in AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine trial. On Monday, the company announced that the vaccine, administered as a half dose followed by a full dose 4 weeks later, showed to be 90% effective in preventing infection.
I had a sore arm. I had some aches and pains the next day. I had to take a little Advil to make them go away. It wasn't anything terrible. Maybe it was a placebo effect. I hope I got the real thing.
AstraZeneca joins Pfizer and Moderna in reporting 90% plus vaccine effectiveness. The company says it's preparing data for authorities around the world. AstraZeneca says what could separate its vaccine from the others is that its vaccine can be stored, transported, and handled under regular refrigerated conditions for up to 6 months. It can also be administered in normal healthcare settings. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
AstraZeneca is looking for volunteers. We have more information about the trial on our website, 10news.com.
A COVID notification program developed by UC San Diego is now available to more people. And as our ABC 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena reports, the creators are hoping it will go statewide very soon.
On the UC San Diego campus, over 50% of the students and staff have signed up for the California COVID Notify program since it launched in September. And those who developed it say it's working.
Either it helped them feel relieved because they knew that they were notifying the people that needed to be notified, or in some cases they were receiving those anonymous alerts and found it helpful because it gave them exact directions on what to do.
Dr. Christopher Longhurst, Associate Chief Medical Officer at UC San Diego Health, says in addition to 7 other UC campuses, the notification system is now available to all patients at UC San Diego Health, another 350,000 people. It taps into a smartphone's Bluetooth technology to contact trace after someone tests positive.
It basically uses the proximity of 2 smartphones to alert you if you may have been exposed to COVID. It's not using any location tracking, and it does not collect any identifiable information.
Through the pilot program, he says they've tried to address privacy concerns and make it even easier to use. On an iPhone, you need to have the latest operating system, 14.2, then just go to your settings and turn on exposure notifications. Android users can download on the Google Play Store. Dr. Longhurst is hoping that as cases rise, it'll be approved to use statewide soon.
We would love to see something like the state of Colorado, where they basically issued an Amber Alert type message to everybody in the state saying exposure notification technology is now available on your phone.
Lindsay Pena, ABC 10 News.
Anyone can get tested at UC San Diego Health and then sign up for the program to notify people. You can stay on top of any new developments with coronavirus by downloading our 10 News app. A free version is available in the App Store.
Carlsbad police are looking into a suspicious death near the Buena Vista Lagoon. 2 people found the body of a woman in her 60s on the Hosp Grove Trail near Monroe Street this morning. It's a commonly used area which has people who live in the neighborhood unnerved.
My kids and I, we both hike down there, ride our bikes. You know, it's a cool little spot to hang out with. And like I said, typically quiet joggers and bikers, and that's about it.
Police say the unidentified woman appeared to have a head injury. The medical examiner will determine the exact cause of death. And a motorcyclist is dead after a fiery crash on the 805. Sky 10 was over the aftermath. It appears the motorcyclist collided with a truck just before 5:30 at the 805 North near Kearneyville Road. There is a SIG alert in the area tonight. The cause is under investigation. And there are flowers tonight on Girard Avenue in La Jolla, where 2 young men died over the weekend. 22-year-old Jaden Rowley and 19-year-old Matthew Cate Jr. were killed early yesterday morning when the car they were riding in hit a tree next to the Vaughns. The injured driver was taken to a hospital and will be held on suspicion of DUI.
Fighting hunger is an ongoing battle in San Diego, and it's a need that's grown during the pandemic. Our ABC 10 News reporter Leah Pizzetti shows how struggling military families are getting some help.
Like a well-oiled machine, these volunteers get to work with meals supplied by Feeding San Diego.
And then
they're filling a void for a specific kind of family.
Gotcha.
Going to the grocery store is just a chore, you know, especially when he's not home to help watch the kids. It definitely can't work right now because they're all home out of school.
Kayla John's husband is in the Navy and he was deployed when COVID hit. She's now home with their 3 kids, not working, struggling to make ends meet.
Sometimes, you know, you question yourself on whether or not you're making the right decisions, you know, and whether or not to keep them home or let them go out to a beach or something because of the gas it takes to get to the beach.
So she comes to this weekly food distribution at the Armed Forces YMCA for military families. 5 meals for each child means not having to worry about basic human needs.
It's allowed us to afford things we wouldn't have been able to afford because we would have been spending the money on food. I was able to get my kids their Halloween costumes. I was able to get a printer for their distance learning at home.
And in a time when the need has increased, so has efficiency.
But COVID-19 has forced us to make some great changes. I call it the silver lining of COVID-19.
Tim Nye, Executive Director for the Armed Forces Y, says because of social distancing practices and the new drive-up format, they've changed the way they give out food, and it's increased distribution by 400%.
We're not going to go back to the old way. We're going to stick with the efficient model as much as we can.
You're all set. Have a good one.
Feeding hundreds of kids every week. hoping to help fill this basic human need. Leah Pizzetti, ABC 10 News.
San Diego does have one of the largest concentrations of military families in the entire world. You can support our heroes' families who turn to Feeding San Diego because of the high cost of living here. To donate, go to our website, 10news.com, and click on Month of a Million Meals. Or you can call into our phone bank. That number is 858-500-7805. It is also scrolling at the bottom of your screen. It's open right now until 8 p.m.